This is the next morning with the fog and then other pictures of the trees just before I left. Apparently a bird, I remember him swooping down in front of me and I thought he got by, but apparently not. There's pieces of him in the hub of my tire, hub of my wheel. Here I am, day 4. I'm at a motel because maybe about 2:45, I think, I started calling, and nobody either answered the phone or had. One place said, sorry, we're not in business anymore, but thanks for calling. Probably because of COVID. I drove for like another hour and tried again. And I got a hold of a guy who was perfectly willing to set me up for the night. I used Google Maps and went in circles. I think their version of Highway 68 is actually known as Highway 686, but I didn't feel like going back 20 miles to get back on it. So I looked all over the place, and then I got it into my head, you know what, I'm just going to go back to the route I was on and see if I see a sign or something. I pulled off looking for a state park, and I got to it, but there was no sign whatsoever that there was any camping available. So I turned around, went back to the highway, and then I see attraction signs off of the thruway. I gotta remember to look at this lens. I'm always off to the side. If I'm looking off to the side, it's not because there's someone sitting next to you. So if you're alone, don't go getting the creeps. It's okay. You can hear the air conditioning in the background if you hear that noise. Over 300 miles today. Over 300 miles. Okay, so anyway, then I call and they said they got room. I guess hotels, motels aren't doing so good right now. People are afraid to stay in them. And the woman said, how far are you? And I said, well, according to Google, it's 6 minutes. Well, I followed the instructions. Past the street. It was this Frost Street. This is on Frost Street, except there's no sign. In the street itself, you pull in and you can either go this way, or straight ahead to the Quality Inn, which is hidden behind a couple other buildings. And I couldn't find the street because it looked like an entrance to a parking lot, not a street. And the street itself is about as long as my forearm. That's about how long. I was going to say something else, but I didn't want to go there, which isn't quite as long as my forearm, but the whole idea is this street was almost non-existent. Finally, after I passed it 3 times, on the 4th try, I pulled into this lot and I start looking around. I'm like, oh my God, there's the Quality Inn right there. Ay, ay, ay. It said, the instructions said, when you see the Pizza Hut, turn right there. Turn at the Pizza Hut. So I turned before the Pizza Hut. I turned after the Pizza Hut. And I'm like, where is this street? I was ready to give it up anyway. I was actually planning already on the highway, thinking, boy, if I have trouble, I'll just do another thing where I find a rest stop. And by the way, I've had pretty good, I know a lot of bikers complain about truckers. For the most part, I think in all my travels, I've only run into like 1 or 2 wise guys. The rest of them, I get the distinct impression they are actually looking out for me. And was it today? I think it was today. I get on this highway and I've got to get over into the left lane right away because there's a exit on the left, or ramp to another section of the thruway. And there's this truck with a big flatbed. Must have had 10 ton of bricks on it, just regular house bricks. All these pallets of bricks, just big blocks. And the thing must have been really heavy, and he's slowing down to move over to get onto that exit. And all these cars are coming and nobody's letting them over. And I got in the middle of those cars, and then I slowed down and let the guy in. I mean, why is everybody being a jerk, you know? So this guy goes in ahead of me, and then when we get onto the highway again, there's another traffic issue on the left. People are passing like crazy, and I'm going slow behind this truck because he's so heavy, he's hardly moving at all. Well, there's a right lane that's about to end, but he pulled over into it and let me go. And I'm sure he did that because I actually slowed down to let him in, so he sort of paid me back when he did that. So, shout out to the human being that was driving that truck full of bricks. What else? Okay, so here I am at Quality Inn. I have a king room, and it has a jacuzzi. But he said, if you promise not to use the jacuzzi, I'll give you it at the regular room price. Said jacuzzi. I am not going to use the jacuzzi. I'm too tired to even think about it, and I told him I wouldn't anyway. So it's a nice big bed here. I just ate, you know, the Dinty Moore beef stew. I ate the Armour version of it, which is called beef stew. Go figure. It was pretty good. You know what though? I think I actually like Dinty Moore better. And I checked every channel on the TV and I could not find anything that I felt like watching. I'm so spoiled with just watching what I want to watch because of my extensive video collection. I turn on the TV and it's like, what the hell? What are people watching today? Oh my God. People are so bored. I mean, really? And it's Monday night, there ought to be something on. You know what I see a lot of here in Kentucky? I heard about that vine that is growing it grows up the trees and all over everything. And it's literally covering sections of forest. And the vine is so thick that it blocks the light and it kills all the trees. And the vine just takes over. Yeah. And a lot of somebody brought it from somewhere and said, this will look nicer. And now it's killing off the natural vegetation. Okay, folks, I'm starting to get tired. So I'll turn this off now. Oh yeah, I wanted to add that today I had to relieve myself, and as I do most days, but at this particular moment, let's see, I stopped at a McDonald's for coffee, and they weren't seating inside yet, so I actually had to go outside in like 92 degrees, humid as hell, and have my coffee. So anyway, I suffered the coffee. It wasn't too bad, it got cloudy. So while I'm standing out there having the coffee, all of a sudden I gotta go, right? I wanted something to eat, but I had to find something gluten-free. So I figured, well, I'll walk down the hill here to this, my batteries are gonna die any second. I'll walk down the hill to this, one of these big gas stations, get some peanuts or something. I go in the bathroom, and I swear I almost, when I went to wipe, I don't mean to be graphic here, the toilet actually tipped off of the floor. The bolt was gone. Now, I've been on toilets with the bolt gone before, but this one, when I leaned to wipe, it went, so I'm like, whoa. Can you imagine? Oh my God, I didn't say anything to anybody. I just felt like, I didn't want to get into it. Because the guy at the register didn't seem too friendly anyway. I said, what do you want? I'll take it, okay. He looked like one of these jerks that if you told him, your toilet's not bolted down, I almost fell. What do you want me to do about it? Screw it. I managed to wipe. Everything's okay. It's good. It's all good. I am going to have to charge this.
I've just learned a comedy from some of my friends in the city. The voices are short, and I think that you ought to admit that the chorus is pretty. There was a young lady in Pella, fell in love with a bow-legged fella. This husky young chap made her sit in his lap, but she fell straight through into this cellar. Fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-dee. Fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-dee. Bill Jones was the son of a...